Everybody, hope we are good. So I'm just making sure this is actually working okay because it's something we've never quite done it this way around before. So let's give it a go. Hopefully I'm streaming into the group and the page at the same time. That looks right. Even better. I love it when it all works and everything. The plan comes together. So hopefully you guys can see me okay and can hear me okay. I'm going to have lots of things open at the moment. So if you do have anything you want to ask, any comments or any questions or anything like that, to please just let us know in the comments around this video. That can be on the page or it can be on the group. Doesn't matter either way. So let's get talking, or let's get started to talk about what we're here for today. We're going to be talking about really a type of hybrid training in PT Distinction. But I want to talk a little bit about what hybrid actually is, why it's an important thing to introduce, and what the big advantage of hybrid training actually is. And I think in our case, especially if you're new to PT Distinction, is taking a hybrid approach, which is basically means that you work with these clients, your clients, in person as well as online. By taking a hybrid approach means you can actually utilize P Distinction straight away. It's a great way to understand how to use the software. It's also a great way to have added value for your clients. So you can give them some added value and support outside of what they do in the gym with you. And generally speaking, you're going to start getting better results for your clients because you can actually support them when you're not with them, which is something very difficult to do sometimes when you're working with people just in person alone. So, if you're new to PT Distinction and you're looking at the software, you're thinking, okay, I don't know where to start. I need to find some online clients to put into here. Just know that you don't need to just have online clients in order to use PT Distinction. In fact, PT Distinction is very well set up for this hybrid approach. So, that was a quick intro. I'll give people just a couple of minutes to turn up and watch and comment and things like that. So if you are watching, just make sure you say a quick hello in the comments so I know that you're here. And then we'll kick things off. I'm going to do a little bit of two things. I'm going to talk about a bit more hybrid training. I'm also going to show you how to set this up as well in PT Distinction. I'm going to show you a very, very simple way of doing it. Very simple way to add in hybrid clients or your in-person clients into PT Distinction, and how you can really use this to benefit you when it comes to delivering your services to your clients. So let's quickly recap on this. What actually is hybrid training in reality? So we talked about this just a little bit there. So hybrid training is literally when you train people in person and you have an online side of it. That's literally what hybrid training is. So this can be a number of different things. This can be just something to support your clients in the gym. It could be something you actually offer as a service as well. So maybe you just do one session in the gym a week, but you do a number of sessions that your clients can complete away from you, but those sessions delivered through the app. Maybe you do 2 to 3 sessions in a gym throughout the week with your clients in person with them. But then maybe what you do is you offer nutrition support through the app outside of what they do inside the gym. Maybe you just want a way to hold all their forms, PARQs, informed consents, and their tracking progress photos. Maybe you just want somewhere for all that to be organized in one place, and you do all your training and nutrition in person in the gym in the studio. You can do that. That is also hybrid training. You can also do some kind of weird and wonderful things with hybrid as well. They're probably the main kind of ones that you see people do. There are other options. We've worked with a client recently over at PT Ninja, and they want to do like a hybrid session for, well, kind of like a hybrid training that they do in their studio. And they have stations in their studio spread all the way around. And the idea is everyone kind of has the same station when they go in there doing all these different things. And what they do is they have their programs delivered to them through the PT Distinction app. But when they come into the session for the gym, they turn on the in-app messaging. And the PT is basically just sat there, basically in their little corner, their PT corner in the studio where it all is. And if a client is struggling with something, then what they'll do is to drop a message on the in-app message, and the PT goes over to see them. And he tells all their clients that he's going to be there between 9 and 5 each day. So it can be support them. It can do like big group training. They can turn up whenever they want to. They can train whenever they want to. They've already done some skill work as well inside the studio. So they've done some in-person training to make sure their skills and abilities are high enough to kind of work out on their own, doing the type of stuff that this person does, our client does. But then they can be there to support them literally just by using the in-app messaging and then going over to see them in there. So you can literally get a bit creative with this as well. There's lots of different options here. But like I say, the common one really is probably the idea of in-person sessions, but you also have online elements supporting those in-person sessions. That's probably the most common one. Now, one of the big advantages of this is actually it's really easy to start. A lot of trainers really want to go online and they want to kind of experiment with online. They want to see it as a way of either supplementing what they do with their business already, or maybe just growing their business and setting up the systems to allow them to scale. Online allows you to do all of these kind of things. And so it's actually a great thing to introduce to your gym or your studio already. But the advantage of this is really easy for you to start because all you need to do is go and approach your in-person clients. And you can either say to them, you can very clearly just come out and say, hey, we're going to have this new support system in place here. All we need to do is just pop your details in this, and then we're going to support you, not just in the gym, but outside the gym. And maybe it's part of the package that you've told them already. Or maybe with everything that's going off at the moment, you want to do a price increase. At the moment, the economy is not the best for many parts of the world. There's a cost of living crisis in many parts of the world. And you're probably thinking it might be not a bad idea to put your prices up. And honestly, I think it is a good idea for you to put your prices up at the moment. But if you're thinking about doing that, but you want to basically soften the blow a little bit when it comes to your clients, a really easy way of doing that is to introduce a hybrid element to it. So you could actually do what we're about to do today, go and set this up, and then go and approach your clients and say, hey, so our prices are going up at the end of the month or the start of the year. They're going to go up by X amount per month for your package that you're on. However, we have got some added benefits for this. We now have our own app inside here where you'll be able to log in, you'll be able to record your results, do all your progress photos, you'll be able to do sessions outside of the gym as well. You'll be able to come and train here without a personal trainer, but still have all the benefits of actually having a personal trainer with you because you get program design there, you get tracking for those programs, you'll be able to do technique videos. You'll also have things like nutrition habit we can work on outside of this session here to ensure you get better results. And that's going to cost you an extra 15, 20 bucks a month or something like that. So it's a really easy way to actually soften that blow of doing a price increase too, and add all that extra value to your clients and help them get better results as a consequence of that. The other benefit you get of this as well is if you're offering this service to your clients, you're offering these hybrid services to your clients, that if they move, so a lot of people will move away, clients will come and go within their gym, they might move to another location, they might go away on holiday, they might go traveling for a while. What happens when a client does that? Well, either you lose them as a client and they move somewhere else and they get a new PT, or maybe when they go away, they put something on pause, they stop paying for the services and sessions that you do, whatever it is. If you have an online element in your package, that all goes away. So if somebody leaves your gym, you sell them a package and they leave your gym, they have to go somewhere else, you can still provide training for them at another location. So you can very easily switch them from the hybrid model into an online model. And it's a very easy process for you to do because they already know, like, and trust you because you work with them already for your hybrid services. The other thing you can do is if a client maybe goes away on holiday, they want some extra help and support whilst they're away, they can continue doing stuff on the app. You can give them some hotel workouts, they could do some in-room workouts, they could do maybe just some little habits they can work on. Yes, they can go and enjoy drinks and cocktails and all the nice food that you get on holiday, but there may be some other little habits they can do. For example, drinking enough water throughout the day. Those things can still be introduced and tracked whilst they're away, just keeping basically what you do at the forefront of the mind. Maybe someone goes away traveling or wants a few months off somewhere, but they want the extra help and support. Again, you've got those options there for them. Or even if you've got clients who go away on business quite a lot and they want some hotel work to do, workouts to do, or support to do whilst they're away on business, so they can't make it into the sessions in your gym or studio, again, you've got the options to go and do it. So there's lots of different things that you can introduce into this hybrid approach very quickly, very easily into your business. It's going to really help support your clients and help you actually make more revenue by doing it as well. One more thing I want to mention about this, if you have this kind of hybrid element in there, especially if you're using something like P Distinction to set it up, and we are going to go and do this in a second, we are going to go to P Distinction, we are going to go and take a look at how we would actually go and set this up in your account. But you can introduce referrals into this as well. Now, referrals are a great way to bring in new business, new leads into your business. You can then follow up, make a sale to, and then bring them back into the program, and basically keep repeating this process over and over again. So having a way to ask for referrals automatically is a great thing to do. And generally speaking, when you're working with people in person as well, it's easier to ask for referrals because you can actually do it manually. You're there in person with them, you build up more trust with them. It's easier to have those conversations. Well, we can actually build some of that stuff into our online versions of these programs, our hybrid versions. So we can ask for referrals through there. You can reinforce those asks by speaking to them in person. But here's the cool thing about it. If they refer to somebody else, you could actually give that person access to the app without the training sessions first. So you can basically give that referral a bit of a free trial. they can onboard, they can do their tracking, their photos and things like that. Come to that first free session where they can test things out in the gyms, or in your studio, whatever it is you're doing, and you're more likely to make that sale because you've already just established so much more extra value by giving them that service in there. So again, loads and loads of benefits of doing this. Hey Joe, nice to see you watching. Always when people watch and say hello to us on here. Okay, cool. So we've talked a little bit there about the benefits of kind of hybrid training and how that can be kind of utilized in your business, the different ways it can be utilized. But how do we actually go and set this up and use this in Peter Distinction? Because obviously Peter Distinction is an online training software, right? Well, it is, but it's actually very well designed for hybrid coaching and for working with clients in person. Now, before we jump in there, I want to talk about the two main types of clients you get in Peter Distinction. You get what's called active clients or online clients, and you get inactive clients, or sometimes called print only. Now, the main difference between these two is an active client will count towards your client quota, which is part of your subscription with Peter Distinction. An inactive client or print only one won't count towards your quota. Now, it is possible to actually store all your clients' information, all the in-person clients that you have in the gym and studio, as print-only clients, as inactive clients. So you could, if you wanted to, onboard a client, get them to fill the forms in there, do their first results tracking, everything like that, and then switch them to an inactive client, and you just store their information there. And then when you're training with them in person, you can literally just log in as a trainer and just fill in the details for them. So you can do all the programming there, everything else like that. Now, doing it that way, it's not going to cost you any extra. That doesn't count towards your client quota because they're not online clients. That's not really what I want to be talking about with you today. You can do that. It's very simple easy to do. Basically, just do what we're doing here. You just switch them to an inactive client and you can just do all the tracking for them. But that doesn't really add any extra value to the client. It might give some value to you as a business owner because it allows you to systemize a few things, make processes a bit easier, which is great, but doesn't give a lot of value to the client as well. And one of the things that we kind of really focus on over at PT Ninja when we're talking about these things is the benefit not just to you and your business, but also to your client as well. And what I want to talk about today is how it's going to benefit you, your business, and your client at the same time. So we're going to be using active clients in here. And like I say, if you're using active clients, if you're worried about the extra costs and things, that time on all that kind of stuff, I promise you, if you actually follow what I'm about to show you here, you will save time with onboarding clients. You will save time with checking in with them. You will save time with making sure they're adhering to the program stuff you've given to them. You'll also be able to leverage your time more, so you'll be able to give them more value, more things to go and do, and actually help them get better results with you spending less time with them. And it's going to save you a massive headache on administration as well. And they're going to get this extra added value by doing it. So lots and lots of benefits of this. So what I'm going to do now is we're going to head over into Peter Distinction. I'm going to go and take a look at how I'd actually go and set all this up. So let's go take a look over here on the screen. So here we are in Peter Distinction right now. And we're going to look at how we'd set up a hybrid stuff. I want to show you the easiest way to do this. In fact, the easiest way to really do this is just to do how you'd normally add in a client. You can just go to the add button at the top corner where you're going to clients here. You can then click add, put in the details, and then down the bottom, you can go and add in your welcome group that's already built into it. Now you've actually got an onboarding group already built into your Peter Distinction account. We created one quite a while back for Peter Distinction to use. It's called the Peter Ninja onboarding group, and you can use that to onboard your clients. I will basically still do that. I would still use that group for that client. So in here, I'll go and find that Peter Ninja onboarding group, and then I'll just go and put them in again. Don't worry about how many groups and stuff I've got on here. We use this for a lot of trainings and things that we do. But you're looking for this Peter Ninja onboarding group here. That's the one that I would go for when you're adding this in. And then just click save, and it's going to copy all that content into their account. So let's actually go and do that. I'm going to go and put in a name. So I'm going to call this one Ash Hybrid. We're going to do Ash test. And we're going to do today's date, which is the 17th of November 2.com. So we're going to put all the details into here. And then we're going to come down, and then once we're going to copy all this stuff over, we're going to go and click save. And that's going to go and settle this up for us. So we already know this. We talk about this doing all the onboarding stuff with Peter Distinction. If you go through all the getting started bit at the bottom, in the bottom left, it will show you how to kind of do all this stuff anyway. So we already kind of know this. And of course, you can send login details out here. So if we now go and have a look for that client in here, let's go on to our clients at the top. There's our Ash Hybrid. If we click on that and go into the account, we'll notice that all that content has now been added in already. Everything's all kind of set up and ready for them to go. But we want to take this a little bit further. We want to make sure this is more suited for that hybrid environment. And obviously that's what we do at Peter Ninja. You want to make sure you have it as best as possible for your clients. So this is what I think, this is what I would do if I was you and you was going to do a hybrid version of this. The first thing I'd do is go to your groups over here. And then when you're in your groups, you're going to go to that PT Ninja onboarding group. So we're going to go and find that onboarding group that's in here. Got so many groups with PT Ninja written on it. Let's type these in. And instead of actually taking this particular group here, we're going to make a copy of it. So I'm going to hit the three dots. I'm going to go and duplicate that one. I'm going to go and call this PTD Ninja, in this case, hybrid onboarding. But you can call it whatever you want to call it. And then you're going to hit copy. That's going to create a copy of that group. And then what we're going to do is open that group up. So give it a little refresh. I'm going to go back in here and open up that group. So there's our new hybrid one. We're going to go and open that group up. So now we basically have everything that's set up in that group already. We have our welcome document down here. We have our welcome email up in the message center at the top. So what are we going to go and do with this now? Well, I'm going to go and open this document. Because we made a copy of it, we can now edit this. And all you want to do is basically edit this document here just to really suit your picking the needs for that client. So if you've got a gym or a studio, then you put information about that in here. And all you're really going to do is start managing expectations and make it really clear about how this process is going to work. So you go through here, get them through all their onboarding still, get them to go and complete the forms, all that kind of thing on here. You may want to have other forms in there as well, maybe lifestyle questionnaires. That's completely fine. You can include those. Just go and fill in this information to help them and explain how the schedule works and that kind of thing. But I would use the main guide we've got set up already and preloaded into your PT Distinction account. But what I'd also start to include down here is information about what's going to happen at their first session. So let's say they're going to come to their first session, maybe they book their first session with you already. So in here, you're typing information about your gym. So what do they need to know? Like, what is their address? Where they need to go to? What should they do when they first arrive? Is there parking? Where is the parking? Do they have to pay for parking? Any kind of information that your client might need, you want to put in here. And this idea of clarity is such an important thing for any kind of online training. The more clarity you can add, the better the experience is going to be for your client. So when you're doing this, have a good think about the questions that your clients will probably be thinking or would want to ask. Like if you're in person with them, what questions will they ask you? Or maybe you keep getting asked these questions all the time by these clients. Hopefully you've been making notes of these questions somewhere. If you haven't, I definitely recommend you start doing that. And then you can put those questions into here and actually answer them ahead of time for your clients. But mainly what you would focus on here is what they're going to do when they first arrive, where is the actual gym and studio, what they need to know when they get there, what stuff they need to bring with them, all that kind of information on here. That's if they've already booked in. Now, if they haven't already booked in to a session in here for you, you can get a little bit fancy with this if you want to. I'd still put information about what's going to happen, but I'd also put an option here for them to actually book in and link into it. Now, if you're already using a booking software in your gym or studio, you may want to go and use that. It is actually possible. Most booking softwares for gyms and studios directly into PT Distinction. It does involve a bit of coding. It's something that we do over at PT Ninja as part of our Done For You service. So if it is something you're thinking of doing and you want it really fancy and all integrated, then get in touch. It's something we can definitely help you with. But if not, the simplest and easiest way to do it is just to link through to it. So you can actually just highlight a bit of text inside here. You could just type in, please book here, just to keep it simple. Highlight that text, use this little icon up here at the top, and you can put in the URL for your booking link. Then what you want to do is just make sure you leave this target as none. And what that will do is it'll open up that booking link effectively in the app. The client will then be able to book your first session and away they go. And I think as long as you put that towards the bottom of this text document here and put information about what they need to do and what they need to bring above that, it's going to add lots of clarity for your client. And this kind of whole onboarding process is then completely automated. Makes it really simple and really easy. Once you've saved that, the next thing I do is just go and make some edits in the message center up here at the top. So we have your welcome email that's going out. Hit view edit, and again, just maybe make a few changes and edits in this welcome email. You still want to download the app, you still want to go and log in, you still want to go and read that document first. But I'd also explain in here as well that when you've gone for that document, please make sure you book in for your first session if they haven't already booked in for that first session. So again, adding that clarity in here. And that's pretty much all I will do if I was going to do a very simple onboarding group, because it adds all that clarity. That means you haven't got to have those conversations with those clients over and over and over again. If you find yourself repeating the same information to your clients all the time, then you might as well try and automate some of those things. So that's quite an easy, simple thing to do there. We can take it to the next level a little bit. You can do that group. We could also maybe do some results tracking. So what we've done is just to make it easier, we've preloaded some results tracking content into your accounts to make it a little bit easier. You can find that by going to community up at the top and going to the partners section if you want to find that information. And you can copy that group into your account, but basically it's going to look a little bit like this. So results tracking in here. And what you can do is you can set up this results tracking group, and already pre-done in here, you could have information about how to take measurements, where to actually update the progress, how to do the progress photos, all that kind of stuff. You could also have your tracking already pre-set up in this group as well. So again, there's our tracking all pre-set up in here. And then what we can do is we can schedule this out for the client. So this is over here now on the schedule. If I go by days after joining, this content's all drip fed out. Now, obviously, I'm talking about groups and stuff in here. You may be watching this thinking, Ash, I'm not entirely sure what groups is. Is this like group training or what? Well, all you need to do when it comes to groups is think of them as superpowered templates. Yes, you can use them for group training, but effectively what we're really doing here is collating all this information together in a group. And then when we add a client to that group, all that information gets copied from that group into that client's account. So a bit like a template. That's the best way to think about groups, is like templates. And also know that you can add as many groups to a client as you like. If you want group, it can be 50 groups. It doesn't matter. The client will never know they're part of a group unless you actually tell them that they're part of a group. So it means you can do some pretty cool things when it comes to using groups in PT Distinction, but I don't want to go into too much detail about that now. I want to focus around the hybrid stuff, which is what we're here to talk about today. So if you're not sure how to really make the most of groups, what I recommend you do is take a look at the masterclasses, specifically Masterclass Module 2. You can come join us live on those as well if you want to. We run them each week. If you want to come join us live, you can ask questions and interact with us on there, or you can watch the recordings if you want to, if you don't maybe have time to come and view the live sessions. And that talks in a lot more detail about groups and how you can use them. So that might be definitely worth checking out if you haven't done that already. And you can find those masterclasses from within your PT Distinction account by heading down here at the bottom and just clicking on live masterclasses. It'll take you straight to them. So anyway, this is all now scheduled out and ready to go. So now when I add in the client, I can add them to results tracking. I can then add them to my onboarding group for hybrid. So at the moment, that's all great. I'm still having to do this manually and add them in. I could get a little bit more fancy now if I want to. We are going to get a bit fancy, of course we are, because it's PT Ninja, might as well get fancy. We're going to use something called a pre-made package. Now, pre-made packages are one of the more advanced features in PT Distinction. It allows you to basically do some of the stuff I've just done there, but completely automatically. So where I went to clients and click add, and then added in the groups manually, I can actually automate that using these pre-made packages. So what I can do is I can create up a package for my hybrid clients. So I can go over to here to my little burger menu in the top corner. And then what I'm going to do is head down to pre-made packages. So when I get into my pre-made packages, you can see we've got a number of packages. Yours might be empty, completely fine if it is. Just click add, and let's just call this our hybrid onboarding in here. So I can go add in my groups to this. So I'm going to hit my drop-down menu. I'm going to go and add them into my hybrid group. So let's have a look for that one. PT Ninja hybrid onboarding. Click add to add that in. I'm going to add them to my results tracking group as well. I'm going to find that in here, and I'm going to add that into it. And I can just go and set this up like this if I want to. Now, if you do have other groups in your account, maybe you've got like nutrition and habits and things like that you want to work on with your clients, then you can also add those groups at this point as well, or you can add it in a bit later if you want to customize it a bit for your clients. We're going to do the customized version of it today in this demonstration, but you could quite easily add those into here if you wanted to. I'm going to forget the remove groups again, sell online. All I'm going to ask you to do at this point is to switch it to no payment, because if you're doing hybrid sessions with people, if you're working with people in person, the chances are you're probably going to take payment through your gym or studio or in person with them. That's what the chances are. So all you need to do here is just hit no payment. Now, if you do want to actually sell hybrid sessions and things like that through your website using PT Distinction, you can definitely do that. In fact, it's something we set up all the time for trainers over at PT Ninja. You just use the full sign-up option here and you use something like PayPal, but you could also use things like Stripe and GoCarless or any other kind of gym CRM system you might have. You can utilize that as well if you wanted to. There are definitely ways to go and do it. But again, for this example, I want to keep it quite simple. And all we're going to do here is just go on the assumption that you've taken payment in person at the gym. What we're going to do down here then, if you want to, you can adapt and adjust the different options. We don't need login details because we've already set up our own email in that group. I'm going to keep phone number fields in there because I think it's quite useful, especially if you're working with people in the gym. Being able to send them automated text messages and things like that is actually quite a useful thing. Sending reminders for sessions and that kind of stuff on there. So once that's done, we're going to head down to the advanced options. If you're limiting how long they have access for, you can do that in here. Now, I'm going to quickly mention this. I mentioned earlier that if you wanted to, you could use print-only versions or inactive clients for this in PTD. Even though I don't really recommend it because I think you add a lot more value and have a lot more benefits and support for both you and your business and also your clients if you do it the way I'm demonstrating here. But let's say if you just wanted to onboard a client through P-Distinction, so just get their forms completed, get their starting results, and maybe their food diary and that kind of stuff in there. What you could do is build up a package just like this and just limit how long they have access for. And as you know, any new people signing up to your P-Distinction account, they don't count towards your quota. They're a free client effectively for the first 30 days. So you could come in here and just say, actually, I'm going to give them maybe 2 weeks access in here. And that just gives them time to log in, do their forms, do their first results tracking, do their progress photos, maybe do some meal photos or use the food diary to track what they've been eating. Whatever it is you want to do, you can leave them access to it and it will automatically move them to inactive once those 14 days are over. And it just means that then you as a coach can go in there and then continue tracking for them on their behalf and they don't count towards your quota. But like I said, we're not really going to focus too much on that one. So one reckon I'm going to do here is because it's hybrid, is just leave it at this option at the top here, leave the account online until you decide to stop them being an online client for you. Once you've done that, you can then hit save, and that's going to set up that package for you. So now you can see we have the hybrid onboarding package. I'm going to click view edit and head back to the sell online section. You're going to notice now there's some code down here. So I'm going to assume if you've maybe got a gym or studio, you've probably got a website. If you have, all you need to do is take this code and you can just put it onto a page somewhere on your website. I would make a page that's hidden up your main menu because people will be obviously buying this from you. You want to give them a link to this. So what I'll do is take that code, I put it on a page on the website, hide it out the way so people can't see up the menu. And as soon as somebody signs up, all you do is give them a link to that particular page. Now, the advantage of doing it this way is if someone pays you in person, pull out an iPad, just please fill in the details on this form here because a link to your pages on there. If maybe they're doing stuff over the phone, you're taking the details, you're taking the payment, you send them the thank you email through, which has say thank you for your payment on there, contains this link in order to fill in the form. So this gives you more options in terms of like automation things you can include for hybrid stuff. The next thing we can do, as we're going to fill this in and have a look, we're actually going to take the link for this form. And I'm going to go and open it up. I'm going to show you what happens when somebody fills in this form. So if this was on your website, obviously it'll be your branding and everything set up in here. But obviously this time it's just going to be a blank form for us to complete. So I'm going to do an Ash test hybrid. And email address is going to be hybrid at today's date 17 1122.com in there. So we've got that set up. Password. I'm going to put one in there. There we go. Time zone, GMT. Otherwise, I'm not a robot, and they're going to hit create an account. So this is going to trigger an account for them automatically in PT Distinction. If we now head back over here and we go back to our clients, I'm going to filter this down. So I'm going to go to active clients, use my filter, and go to date added. You can see there's my client automatically now been added in. If I click on that in here, we can go into this. We can see if we go to the group section up in the top corner that our hybrid onboarding group and results tracking group has automatically been added in. And if we go into our setup over here, we can see we have all those groups copied in over here, ready to go. The tracking is set up, and then on the schedule down here, we have everything on the schedule for them to get them started on their journey with you on there, explaining exactly what they need to do, what to expect. That's all that regular tracking setup from there. So that's what I would do if I was going to do a hybrid one. I'd say the simplest way to do it is how I demonstrated at the beginning. Just literally add them into that onboarding group and away you go. When they get a little bit fancier, all you need to do is just duplicate that onboarding group, and then you can just edit that document so it includes things about where the gym is, how to find it, what to expect, and that kind of thing. And then if you want to get a little bit fancy, you want to track all their results and things over time, Then, of course, what you can do is add in a results tracking group like I shown there, or you can add those same results tracking to the onboarding group if you want to, and that will then just remind them to track their progress over time all automatically. So they're the simplest ways to introduce hybrid into your system on here. Now, I did mention when we was doing the package that I'll show you a couple of the things you can do with this. So, for example, if you just wanted to maybe offer nutrition alongside your for your hybrid clients and not any workout stuff because doing that in the gym, you can do that. And I talked a little bit earlier about groups, and I should definitely go and check out Masterclass Module 2 if you want to learn more about how groups work in Peak Distinction. But we have a technique that we do over at PT Ninja called group stacking. And this is the idea that you put certain content in different groups, much like what we've done here with our onboarding group and our results tracking group. And we add those groups together, we stack them together. And as I mentioned earlier, whenever you add a client to a group, what effectively happens is all that content, so the tracking, the emails, the workouts, the messages, the coaching items, the PDFs, the videos, whatever it is, the habits, all that gets copied over into the client's account from that group. So if we had one group, whatever's in there, that gets copied in. But another group, whatever's in there gets copied in, much like what you can see here when we look in this test account because we've added them to two different groups. Hence group stacking, we stack them on top of each other. But we can do that after they've signed up as well. So for example, here, if we've built maybe an online program out, and this is something we do over at PT Ninja on the PT Ninja 101 course, is we build out a program for you, a 12-week program, and a year-long monthly program, and a challenge and a lead magnet. But we use multiple groups to do this. And it's that multiple groups that allow the flexibility I'm about to show you here. So let's say I'm working with this client here and I want them to work on some nutrition stuff only, but not maybe workouts because we're doing that in the gym. I can just simply come up here to the groups at the top, hit my little button here and just type in whatever I want to add it into. So maybe I want to do some a nutrition coaching program with them. Or I just want to do habits to start off with. So maybe I want to focus on getting more protein into their diet. So I'm going to type in protein, and I've created a protein group here. So I'm just going to click on this one, click next. I'm going to go and add it in now. And that's just dropped in my protein habit on there. I'll give that a little refresh. That client's now focused on that protein habit, but they don't have to have workouts in there. You can see here all that content and tracking has been put in for that particular client. And I can also do exactly the same thing with maybe like a longer program. So maybe I've got a pre-built, not just an individual habit, maybe I've got like a pre-built out program that we can use with our clients. So maybe like a 12-week program or a 12-month program or something like that. But I don't want to deliver workouts with it because I'm doing that in person. I could add them to that particular group as well if I wanted to. So let's just go and take a look back here at the clients, and we'll go get our test clients in again. There we go. Now let's just go and add them into a different group. So up at the top, if I want to put them into, again, just to show you some of these groups, if I wanted to put them into maybe a 12-month group, I could just type in the 12-month one, and then that will come up and show me all the different options I've got to add in for that. If I want to add them into maybe some macro tracking groups, I could do that as well. So there's lots of different options here that you can do when it comes to group stacking. I don't want to go into too much detail about this. Like I say, there's some more advanced stuff here that I'm talking about, but I just want to give you an idea of what's possible for doing this and how far you could actually go when it comes to hybrid training with your clients in here. Likewise, as well, you can also put workouts in. So maybe you're working out with a client in person and you want to give them a particular workout to work on maybe at home. Let's say if you've got some home workouts in here, I've just typed in home for this example. You can see we've got lots of different versions. We can just go and add them in to that particular one from there and just copy that content over into their account. So I'll just do that so you can see it. So now when we go in, if we give it a little refresh, you can see the workout content's been copied into their account from there. So you do have lots of options here, especially if you go through this group stacking approach with it. Cool, awesome. Right, I think that is pretty much it. Like I said, I don't want to go into too much detail about this. I just really wanted to talk about what options and stuff are available for hybrid training and the idea of doing that, and just some of the simpler things that you can do, and also show you how far you can kind of take it as well if you wanted to. So this has been a bit of an overview on that. A lot of people have been asking me about hybrid training recently, about how they can actually just get clients into their PTD account or PT Distinction account really, really quickly. And that's why I kind of wanted to come and show you this. What I'm going to do over the next few weeks is start breaking this down a little bit more. So I'm going to show you in a bit more detail about, okay, how exactly would you set up some hybrid onboarding if you just wanted to onboard a client in there? What does that actually look like? How would you integrate some of the scheduling softwares and things like that into it? Likewise, I'll show you how you can do this with some nutrition programs and stuff as well. How you can have that deliver automatically for them, or maybe if you just want some home workouts working alongside their person sessions, I'll show you how that works. And also some of the training as well, what I'll do is I'll go through how you can actually have them check in for the in-person sessions they do. So maybe you're doing a hybrid model, but you do group sessions at the gym and you want them to check in to say they've actually attended those group sessions. I'm going to show you how to do that as well. But again, this has really just been an overview of what's possible. What I'll do with those other training videos is kind of break this down and show you a bit more about that and how you can really utilize that inside PT Distinction. Okay, I think that's it from me. I'm going to quickly mention whilst I'm up here. Obviously, I know there's been a lot of things I've shown you on there. Some of that been that content as well and setting these things up. And I do appreciate that there are some really simple ways to get started, as you've seen already. Just use that group that's already set up for you and add it in. But you may want to have a bit more help and support when it comes to setting this kind of stuff up. You may want some of the stuff already pre-made. For example, those 12-week programs that are already pre-done that I'm showing in here. If you want to have access to all that kind of stuff, of course, normally you will go through the PT Ninja 101 course or our Done For You service, and we can build all that kind of stuff out for you. However, coming up at the end of this month on the 28th of November, we actually have our challenge. Now, PT Ninja, we only run this challenge once a year, and it's basically it's a 5-day challenge. And the idea is you'll turn up each day, we'll give you training each day, and during that challenge, we'll show you how to find new leads, how to convert them into paying clients, and how to put them into a program that's going to be built into your PT Distinction account, a 12-week online coaching program. The best thing about this is, well, we will actually go into your PT Distinction account and we're going to go and set this up. So we're going to set up a proven 12-week program. We're going to put it into your PT Distinction account. So there's nothing you need to do there. Create all the automations and everything else like that. And we're going to show you how to use it as well. And then during that challenge, we're going to show you how to find some leads, how to get them to pay some money, and how you can actually get them into your account. And we're going to give you the systems in order to go and do that as well. Hold you accountable to actually getting these tasks done throughout that challenge. Now, if you're interested in signing up for that challenge, what I can do is I can put a link for this somewhere around the video so you can have a look, or you can just let me know and just say challenge in the comments and I'll send the link over to you so you've got some more details to find out a little bit more. But I thought I'd just quickly mention it on here. So we don't do it very often. We don't really advertise it that much, in all honesty. But if anyone's watching, they are interested and they want to find out more, again, just let us know with channel comments and I'll send over the details. So that's it from me. I hope this has been helpful. I hope everyone's enjoyed it. Thank you everyone for hanging around and watching. And if, of course, you are watching this on the replay and have any questions whatsoever, please do let us know in the comments. And yeah, I'll see you at my next video. Cheers, everybody. Bye-bye.